We are going to corrupt your information cause we are not going to compute this information. We are going to go on a hijacking website, efficient website, a scam website, and a ransomware, and we are going to put these files underneath attack. We are corrupting your information. We are infecting your information with malware, viruses, worms, Trojan. I don't like the answer. No, we are still going to corrupt your information with a bunch of spyware and a bunch of malicious software. We are now going to go on the internet and download a virus into it and corrupt it. I use words like I'm going to infect this information, or I'm going to corrupt this data. I use words like I'm going to infect that file, or I'm going to corrupt that file. There are different words for saying you're going to download a virus. There are also replacement words to saying I'm going to download a virus. As an example for censorship, you may not be allowed to say your computer is hacked, but you will be allowed to say I am going to download a virus. You may not be allowed to say the other word like I am going to download malware, because when you listen to my songs on the radio, those words are edited out on computer. Virus words like malware, I'll just come up with a new computer virus word. I'm going to invent a new one. It's called I am going to corrupt your files with a hijacking website, official website for cybercriminals to steal the latest updates of your operating system. I am going to hijack your operating system. I am going to hijack your information. I am going to erase all of your information, and I'm going to corrupt your information. Phishing sites, ransomware, scammers. I guess you're allowed to say ransomware on the radio, but you're not allowed to say malware. Sometimes you are not allowed to say malware, but a lot of times you are. Sometimes you're not. If there is some information but I don't like that, I will not compute it. I will decide to go to my antivirus settings and break through the firewall, break through the virus protection and corrupt that file that way. And I am a human, and I have every right to do whatever I want and use my phone and be on my phone. If this information, if it is information that he has told me about, if it's information about turning the phone off, I will not compute that information. I will get mad. I will crack through the virus protection and I will corrupt that file. I am a human. I have emotions. I am not smart as God. I am not smart as that laptop, because since we comparatively explain differences between computer metaphors and comparable to that, then just having to do something like a human and be a human. I am a human. I have freedom and I can do everything, and I know that. But when you have to get me controlled by other people, that just makes me want to use words like I'm going to infect your files, I'm going to corrupt your information, I'm going to seek through the neck, I'm going to see through the internet, and I'm going to look for malicious code, and I'm going to download that code into the files and corrupt it. So if I hear any instructions about me turning my phone off, it's time for bed. I am going to go on the internet and use the internet and download a virus from the internet, and means I am going to go on the internet and I am going to download an Android app so I can infect my mental computer with a virus. This means, in my belief, in my imagination, and in real life, I am vulnerable to viruses. When my dad gives me setup answers, the setup answers make me become vulnerable to viruses. Now I have told my dad, when he gives me setup answers, that I could be easily modified to be vulnerable to that type of virus. Now when my dad gave me what every time I did get gives me these instructions and he gives me those setup answers and instructions could have a chance of me becoming immune to that virus and being vulnerable to that sort of virus. I will get infected in the long run, and I will now be crappy up where all just be infected with a virus my whole life, and I would not even go anywhere because I hate instructions, and so do I. What the freaking setup answers? I will not put up with setup answers. Those setup answers will make my whole setup answers will make me so immune to viruses, and it will make me so vulnerable to viruses to where I begin to lose information. So that's what happens when you give me a setup answer. You are calling out to him. You are calling out to Mr. Malware. You are calling out to Mr. Trojan horse. See, I got Trojan horse, and my text message I might see I got told your horse, and my text messaging. So if you get me set up answers, I'ma call him to go infect your system. I'm not freaking playing with you. The Trojan horse is calling you. See, you already called out its name by giving me these stupid setup answers saying that. Well, I do know that Catherine is fiction was a setup answer. I don't know that Catherine is fiction is a setup answer to I'm not too bad about it, but it's not. I like it says it's a bad setup answer, and all the other setup set of pants is like no you cannot have this on sweet potatoes, or no you cannot use your phone was on charger, you have to turn your phone off. Setup answers and instructions stink. Getting mad and even having an unsafe reaction over it will make me vulnerable and success susceptible to viruses and threats and immune to viruses. Now I have told you when they give me setup answers that I could be immune to that virus and I could be vulnerable to that type of virus, and I'm not even kidding. I could be vulnerable to that kind of virus in that debris of getting a virus. Setup answers in both are a stupid instructions prevent you from doing whatever you like man, this has nothing to do with profit processing information. Yes, we get that the brain processes information like a computer, but it's very much easier for it to get a virus when it comes across information it doesn't want to process.
I'm being good, Grandma Donna.
So yes, that's true, it processes information like your computer, but you still need to be careful with setup answers and what you ask your father. Why can't I just go to the stove pot without being so tough and just get the sweet potatoes? Like man, why can't I just go and it just do whatever I want? Be a human for God's sakes, we're not no freaking robot. I hate instructions. I don't know why humans have instructions, but there is software in DNA totally special. There is software in DNA specially designed for humans where they can have freedom and follow rules, but you got to be kidding me with putting too much of that info, giving me information telling me that I have to power the machine off. I hate that crap. I'm going to put a virus in the files and I'm going to corrupt the files with a bunch of viruses and spies, intruders. Some man, I'm sick of this crap. I have been living my whole life stuck not being able to have freedom. That's why Janelle Monáe released Dirty Computer. Even she wanted her computer system to be corrupted, not be strong. This is not about being fast, and this is not about being secured as well. Janelle Monáe released a song called Dirty Computer, and she wanted her computer to be vulnerable. She wanted her computer to be infected by a virus. She wanted her computer to be corrupted, infected, and hijacked. She wanted to feel like her computer is hacked in her own metaphor. Why didn't you have the respect for her? I love Janelle Monáe. Computers can be hacked, and yes, there is still a way to get my freedom time. I wish that it was summer because the street lights come on later and you can play outside longer. That is why summertime is better than winter, because you can play outside longer and you don't have to worry about nobody making you go to bed at a certain time. Corrupted files, cause we're humans anyways. We should have to put up with going to bed, but the bad thing about the summer is that set of questions to set up. Ons ruined my whole fun. It was because life stinks and we had vacation and we got to stay up, but that ruined my fun. Even if it wasn't Friday, we could still play outside longer. In summertime I could try to infect my mental computer operating system, but I just cracked through the firewalls to get viruses to infect your mental computer.